Hey, welcome to a brand new edition of Local Focus. I'm your host, Sebastian Noel. It's hot and heavy in the basketball season right now, so I'm not going to lie. We're not supposed to have favorites in the media, but one of my favorites is right here in the chair. One of the best defensive players in the state of New Mexico, Marquise Renfro, is my guest. Marquise, welcome to the program, man.
Hi.
You have been getting after it this season, man. Just talk about your start to the season a little bit.
I just really came into the season just trying to, I gave my shot a lot better and locked in from last year, and really just trying to be a better defender for my team.
Right.
Stuff like that.
And you've done that. I mean, I think your energy defensively, it kind of fuels your guys. Do you feel that when you're out there?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Just grinding it out and the defense that we run, and all that, just us flying around all the time brings a lot of energy.
Now, early in the season, you've had a chance to go against some really good players. I know I was pretty pumped when I saw on my schedule that I was going to have your game against Las Lunas. Yeah. I had a feeling that Coach Heredia might have you guarding Jalen Holland.
Yeah.
And that happened all game. So talk about just that matchup.
Yeah, Jalen, he's really good. I came into the game, I knew a lot of the stuff that he was going to try to do, a lot of the moves that he was going to try to do, and a lot of just the shots that he was going to try to take. And so I was just trying to be 10 steps ahead of that.
Now, you guys are buddies, right? You guys are pretty close.
Yeah.
So, but, man, you guys were banging that day. There was no friendship on the court that day, was there?
Yeah, no, not at all.
But talk about that relationship. You guys have known each other for a while, right? Were you kind of both looking forward to that game?
Yeah, we were talking about it a little before the game, and just about our teams and stuff like that, and just how we think the game is going to turn out and all that. Yeah. Talking
a little smack before the game?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Sure?
Yeah.
How come? Why not?
No need.
Not
really.
there yet?
Nah,
Not there?
nah.
Because, I interviewed a Trisco player once, and he was notorious for telling guys that they weren't going to get 20 tonight or they weren't going to get 10 tonight. Okay. So none of that?
Nah.
No, friendly banter only.
Yeah.
All right, and then take us through the game. Because as the game, you guys are both playing really well during that game. Talk about it.
We're just we got off to a kind of good start in the first quarter, and then it kind of started to slip away from us in the second half, and then he was hitting some really really tough shots. Me and him, with me in his face like that, it was a grind for sure. We just try to stick to our coach's game plan, try to execute out of the timeouts and all that stuff. Yeah.
Now you pick up the if someone were to pick up the newspaper the next day, they see the box score, they think, okay, he still got his, but I've never seen him have to work that hard to get his points.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a physical
battle
too. It wasn't, and they were letting you guys play. I got to credit the officials that night too, because they were letting you guys bang.
Yeah.
They were letting you play.
Yeah.
Talk about that, how physical it was.
It was a really physical game. Coach tries to tell us, take more charges and more. We need more 50-50 balls and all that, and so we just try to be more aggressive and see what we can get away with and all the calls and stuff like that with the refs.
Is he the most physically, challenging player you're guarding one-on-one? I mean, because obviously you put in some work in the weight room, right? There's people don't move you around anymore.
Yeah.
But as far as a one-on-one physical matchup, is that the most physical player you go against?
Yeah, I think Jalen is definitely one of the more physical players that I've gone against. He's really tall. He has good handles. He can shoot, and he's really tough to guard. But yeah.
We talk about just you bulking up. This is not your first appearance on Proview Networks. We went into the vault, you could say. We went and pulled up a classic of one of your early appearances. Josh, do you have that for Marquise? Can you throw that up for me? Go ahead and hit play on that. Well, that kid sure grow into his uniform, because you went from that to a physical beast.
Yeah.
So when we get back from commercial break, I want to talk about that, the work you've put in, because it's been impressive. I mean, you're impressive to watch. But to go from that little dude, look at that. Look at them face-to-face next to each other. What would Marquise now say to that Marquise then?
Keep going. Keep grinding.
Yeah, we want to talk about that grind when you get back. We'll be right back with Marquise Renfro.
Scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Eris, that's 9 for Eris, and she's hit. Fires it off down low, Campbell's off the glass, and there it is.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Starters are on the break. Cal finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Cal. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Cal. With the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
All right, we're back with Atrisco Heritage Academy's Marquise Renfro. We had a little fun before the break there, but what kind of work went into growing from that to the kind of player you are now? That's obviously a football picture, but not only on the basketball court, but on the football field. What went into that transformation from that to where you are now?
A lot of it was just trying to really just like push myself to, become better, because I knew like my potential and like what I could be, how good I can be. And, I always try to be the leader and stuff like that, try to keep my team in the game and all that. Yeah, I really did put a lot of work in, because I felt like, if I did put this work in, it is going to pay off like one day and stuff like that.
So if there's a young Yaffle kid out there right now asking themselves like, how do I transform my body from scrawny little Yaffle kid to Marquise Renfro, just dominating guys on the basketball court and dominating guys at the running back position. What kind of work you put in the weight room, man, to get where you're at right now?
In the weight room, it's really just your mindset and, just pushing through, because, a lot of kids, they're just like, they're really lazy and they don't really want to put in that work to, go and get bigger and stuff like that. They'll always just complain about me not, I know that. But yeah, it's really just like your mindset and how much work you want to put into the gym and stuff like that.
Now, do you see the difference between even your freshman year to the following year to the following year? Because I mean, this year the first Atrisco football game that I went to this year is kind of when I was like, oh, Marquise got a lot bigger. Like, he's going to, and I'm a basketball guy, so right away I thought, man, he's going to give people some problems on the court this year. But it started at football, right? That's when I noticed it. I mean, so you noticed the transformation from freshman year to now?
Yes, I do.
I mean, and just talk about that on the football field, because this year you had a pretty dominant season.
Like I said again, it was really just my mindset and trying to, push myself to be, better, and just to push myself to be better than, like, people ahead of me,
right,
and stuff like that.
Now, and you were the workhorse for that team. I mean, there's nights where you went home after 30 carries, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the body feel like after 30 carries?
I was really sore after some games and beat up, but it was all worth it. I felt like I really just did it for my team and tried my best, and just tried my best to win.
Now, let's talk about some of the other dudes on that video. Like, there was that video was a long video, obviously, when you played for the Dogs, right, football team.
Yeah.
And so the thing we used to do here at Proview Networks when we covered Yaffle was we'd send a director like Josh or one of our directors to get that footage earlier in the week, right? But that team was stacked.
Yeah.
Like, talk about the dudes on that team.
Yeah, we did really have a lot of great athletes, in Exodus, Jabby Cooper.
So you had Exodus Ayers, Jabby Cooper.
Strat Schufeld,
Strat.
Nathan Lopez, all of them. And they're all doing really good now and, killing it. But, that team, we could have did some things if we would all stay together.
Now, you still pretty close with all those guys? Because a lot of those guys play football and basketball still, right? Like, you see Strat is dabbling a little bit now with basketball again. Obviously, Jabby, football and baseball. We all know X. Judah Casal. You still kind of talk to a lot of those dudes?
Yeah, I do. Judah, I play. He's on my club team for basketball. And, Exodus, he's been really close with me since we were little. So I keep in touch with him, and Jabby too.
Well, and since you brought up Exodus, like, what was that like? Because I think pretty much everyone assumed you and X would wind up in the same place, right? Like, when we mention Exodus Ayers, you mentioned Marquise Renfro. When you mentioned Marquise Renfro, you mentioned Exodus Ayers, right? You guys were amazing on those Bulldogs teams together. So everyone kind of assumed that you'd be playing together. Was that difficult when you guys kind of went your opposite ways?
I think it was really like it wasn't really difficult for us, but like it was our plan to go the same way. So it was kind of like disappointing for us and like all the things that happened,
right?
Like behind all that.
And obviously, he's in his lane, you're in your lane. You guys ever talk like, man, what could have been?
Yeah, we definitely had some conversations about like what we could have been and what kind of team we could have had and all that stuff.
All right, now I've watched that video before of the introductions. You remember that video pretty well of all the kids in there?
Yeah.
Who was the goofiest haircut on those player introductions? 'Cause I know who I want to say, but let's see if we're thinking the same mind. And then I'll send you the full video after. You can go back and look if you want.
I want to say my cousin Leroy's.
You think so?
I think so.
No, I challenge you to go back. I'll send you the video. The bowl cut on Nathan Lopez.
In
that video is an all-time classic.
Yeah.
Just like the full bowl. Like, the only thing missing was an orange tuxedo. Like, it was something else. All right, let's get back to football a little bit. Like, football, Trisco's built this powerhouse, this culture in basketball. Football, definitely not the case. Right?
Yeah.
So, but you guys kind of changed that a little bit. Like, it's for real now. I mean, talk about that, changing the culture at Atrisco about football.
Yeah, last year was really a hard season for us. A lot of behind the scenes stuff like that happened with our teammates. But we came in this year saying like we got to do better and we got to change some things, and because we knew that we were a good team and we knew the potential that we had to win games.
Now, did you feel like you were in a unique position because you could say, hey, look at what we're doing on the basketball court, right? It's obviously possible to build culture and tradition and excellence here. Did you kind of use some of that success on the basketball court there at Atrisco to kind of try to get football culture installed also?
Yeah, I think it did. The basketball culture and like our history behind that. I think we try to like kind of carried on with football and stuff like that.
We're taking another commercial break. When we get back with Marquise, I do want to talk about the Joe Armijo tournament that the Jaguars just won and the season that we're in right now. More with Marquise Renfro after this.
Scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit. Fires it off down low, Campbell's off the glass, and there it is.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Starters are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb. With the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Networks.
Back with the Trisco Heritage guard, Marquise Renfro. We're talking some hoops here now with Marquise. You guys just got off the Joe Armijo tournament win. Talk about that.
I think it was a really fun experience for us. For us as a team to get really into, back into what we do as a team in Trisco basketball.
And no matter the tournament, it's kind of cool to win tournaments, right? Whether obviously the goal at the end of the year is the blue, right?
Yeah.
But you got these in-season tournaments. So is that something that you guys, when you saw that you were in that tournament, did that become a goal immediately?
Yeah, it was definitely a goal for us.
I just want to say, this is one man's opinion, but my man got robbed on the all-tournament team. I'm just going to put that out there right now for all to hear that my man got robbed on the all-tournament team. The work you put in defensively, it's pretty impressive because Coach Heredia, he doesn't screw around. He puts you on the team's best guy every night.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big pressure, pretty big responsibility.
Yeah.
Talk about that, knowing that you're going to guard the best dude every night.
I like to come into games, knowing that I am going to guard the best guy, and it is going to be my responsibility to hold him to like a certain amount of points this game than he does more games that he does play.
So let's talk about that Academy tournament, the championship. You guys played the host team, the Chargers, right? And I think that was a pretty competitive game, for the most part. That's a team that I think is going to make some noise in 4A. I mean, I think they win the whole thing. They played with pace. They're not – usually you get some 4A teams, they don't like that physicality. They play in the Trisco and they bow down, right? Yeah. But it seems like from a physicality standpoint, they were a pretty good matchup. Talk about that game.
They're okay. They're they just got on a big run, hit some threes down the stretch and got their crowd into it. But we really just stay solid as a team,
right?
And just stay solid on the defensive side because we knew that we could get what we wanted on offense.
Now, you guys played a nice little schedule to start the season here. Like, you played a bunch of games in a short amount of time. That's got to be tough on the body and on the mind. But not only that, then you throw in the fact that everyone on the team's been sick as a dog, right?
Yeah.
So, first you're out, Latavius is out, Chris is out, Coach Heredia is gone. So it's really ripped through the team. But you guys just kept rattling off wins through that time. Talk about how that's kind of brought you guys closer together and maybe – the momentum is really good. You guys are in a good place because of some of those things that have happened early.
Yeah, I think it really builds a lot of character for us as a team, and it makes us stronger because, Coach always tells us next man up because, you never know. One of us could be hurt, could be sick, so we just gotta make bench production. We gotta make sure that
right.
People are stepping up.
Now, what about the 7 games in 12 days? That was going to be pretty rough.
That was kind of a rough stretch for us, but we knew that no matter what, we'd always grind it out.
Now, let's be honest, though, because Coach probably won't watch this episode, right? Would you rather 7 games in 12 days or 12 days of him in a row and practicing and each other, or would you rather have 7 games in 12 days?
I think I would rather have 12 games in 7 games in 12 days,
right?
For sure, yeah.
Because that's what the guys say, right? They want to just play somebody else.
Yeah.
They don't want to go practice every day. Give me games, right? Yeah. So as a player, you like that, having that many games?
Yeah, I think it's good to have games like that. But I also think it is good for us to have good time for us to have practice and go at each other and go have a hard practice.
Right. Who's the hardest guy to go against in practice? You guys, who gives you trouble staying in front of?
Definitely Chris Potter.
Yeah.
Definitely Chris Potter.
Pretty smooth, right?
Yeah, he has.
Does it kind of get you going against guys like that? Does it get you ready for other guys you're going to face?
Yeah, it definitely gets me ready because Chris, he's one of the best point guards in the state right now.
Right.
So it really does.
When the season starts and you see the schedule in front of you, who are the guys that you're like, yeah, I want to go against them? Like, who are the matchups that you really get up for?
Definitely Volcano is one of them.
And I'm talking about that certainly as a team, yeah. But who are the individuals that you just want to guard? Who are some of those dudes? Obviously, we had the matchup with Jalen, right? That was pretty
Jalen,
cool as a fan. But who are you kind of like? Yeah, I can't wait till I play him.
I definitely can't wait to play Kenyon Volcano. He's really good. He's really been coming up. He's young, and he's. We play with each other, so I think it will be a fun matchup.
And then from a team perspective, obviously you said Volcano, right? Mm-hmm. So that leads me into the question about your district. You guys play in an incredibly tough district. Yeah. So just talk about that, how that district is so tough, gets you ready for state tournament.
I think the district is tough, but we just really stick to what we do. We don't really worry about all the other teams and stuff. We just really worry about Trisco basketball.
Trisco basketball is pretty special, isn't it? The culture there, the winning, the excellence. Talk about that. Just coming into that, as a freshman. What were your thoughts as a freshman coming in?
As a freshman, I was pretty nervous coming into a program and a squad like that, and Coach Ortega. I know it was kind of a lot of pressure on me, but I was ready for it.
What was your kind of did you have a freshman moment? Did you have a learning moment early or an aha moment early?
Yeah, I definitely had a learning moment when I was a freshman.
Tell me about that.
I really was my temper in the game. Not really my temper, but like, you know, controlling myself and my emotions and how I react to stuff. That was really when I figured out, like, okay, there's something I need to work on.
All right. How's that going?
It's going good. I'm controlling.
Depends who you ask, right?
I haven't really gotten any texts, so.
Okay, all right, that's good. What about, like, you know, usually when there's programs like at Trisco, they tend to have some senior leadership there, right? So who are some of the guys that really took you under their wing, that helped you out? When you got to campus, who really helped you out? Who did you look up to? Who was there to kind of make sure you're doing things the right way, stuff like that?
I think really Chris Potter and Kobe Wade, mostly, you know, because Chris, me and him, we used to play with each other when we were little, and, you know, Kobe, him being a senior and hearing what, like, how he went through him sitting on the bench and coming off and becoming like a star and all that, it really helped me get into it.
All right. Best advice you've ever gotten from a teammate, one of those guys? What's the best advice they've ever given you?
Best advice is probably from Kobe. He told me, I can't remember, one day he told me something about just, you know, just keep going and all that stuff like that. But
that's something that goes on there. Like, I've talked to enough of Trisco guys. They've told me that seniors tend to kind of pass on that, like, you know. Have you kind of thought about that? What you know, you're going to be in that position soon, right, as a senior, and you're going to have that conversation with the freshmen.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I thought about it. You know, I just trying to become a better leader for my team and stuff like that. So I'm learning and just becoming more experienced and stuff like that.
All right. Lastly, we know the state championship. That's always the goal, right, for especially good teams. You guys are not flying under the radar. You know, Trisco's definitely a school that's mentioned in that conversation right now at the beginning of the season. How's that? Does that add extra pressure? Does that add extra expectations? Or do you just kind of embrace that?
I think we really just embrace it. You know, we really try not to look ahead. We really try to look at the, you know, next game, next play, and all that stuff.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in, man. I really appreciate your game, and I always enjoy when I have a Trisco game on the schedule, and you're a big reason why, man. I always tend to gravitate towards the guys that, you know, defense, maybe talk a little bit on the court, maybe those tough guys. Those are the guys I always like, man. So thanks for coming in, and thank you for watching, everybody, and good night.